it's the 22nd of July and I'm back down the allotment. I've not been down the allotment for, well, you haven't seen the allotment for a few weeks now because I've been doing jury service, but that's all now come to an end. So I'm back down the allotment. I did pop down the allotment about 6 days ago, but there was nothing really to see. It was just sort of a case of weeding and seeing what I could get done. But so much has happened and I need to show you lots and lots. Now the first thing we're going to start with are the potatoes. I sowed two varieties of potatoes this year, King Edward and Sarpo Mira. They've been growing really well. I've got a load here and I've got a load there, and I think I've got a load somewhere else. Oh yeah, a few more up there. Some of them are now ready to come up, so I thought I would show you that. Now when your potatoes are growing and you get all the leafy bits, some of them you get sort of like the little green, they look like very small green tomatoes, about that sort of size. And others you get flowers. Now some people say that when those appear then you can dig them up, but I tried that once and I didn't think they were ready. Okay, some of them were still green and some of them are still small. As far as I'm concerned, that whilst there is still green in the leaves, the potatoes will still grow. So what I do is I wait for the leaves on top and the stems to start losing their green, going yellow and brown, and then you know that the potatoes underneath aren't going to grow anymore and that they'll be at the biggest that they can get to. So some of mine are ready. There's a load up there that are ready, and there's a few down here, but I'm going to show you some of the ones up there, and let's dig up the first of the potatoes. So there you can see these potatoes here. The leaves have gone yellow and they've started to go brown, and the stems have gone all they're losing their green as well. So these are ready to come up. The ones round here, just here, as you can see, are still really quite green. So I'm going to leave these ones, but just dig your potatoes up as and when you need them, but make sure that you get them all up by the end of the season and before the frosts come. When you harvest them, store them in a cool, dark place. So a shed in a hessian sack is perfect. So let's dig one of these plants up and see what we've got underneath. Now I'm going to start with this one. I've got a few strawberries that seem to have decided that they wanted to grow in here as well, but I'll just move those out the way. Now what you need to do, because you need to be very careful that you don't spear any of your potatoes. If you do, it doesn't matter, but just make sure that if you do spear any of them, then you actually use those ones first. So you want to have the main stem of the potato and you want to put your fork about 4 or 5 inches away from it. Okay, push down as far as it will go, your fork will go, and pull back, and hopefully underneath we will reveal some potatoes. There's some there. There's a baby little one there, but it's not going to grow anymore because there's no green left in the plant. Once you've loosened it, just gradually move your fork all the way round and hopefully it will come up fairly easily. I planted these in, I think it must have been about, what was it, April time? It was later, slightly later than I normally would have done, but they just grow quite happily. Just water them on a regular basis and feed them. You're going to have to go down really quite deep, and I might have to get the spade in here. I usually say no to a spade because it's easy to then chop them up, but if the soil is as fine as this is, then it's something that I may well have to do. So I'll just keep going And when I think I've got them all, then I'll come back and I'll show you. These ones are the King Edwards. These ones are. I would only know once I've pulled one up, because the Sarpos are sort of a reddy colour. So I'll get the spade in, and then when I think I've got them all, then I'll show you. Right, well that is just from one plant. That will most probably do us as a family of 4 about 2 dinners, I would imagine. Some of them are very, very tiny, but they'll be, don't throw away the tiny ones. If you're having a roast dinner and you put some roasted vegetables underneath, you can put these tiny little potatoes underneath. And then we got some, you know, smaller ones, so don't throw the diddly little squid ones away. And then we go up to some really good, nice sizes. Nothing huge, nothing jacket potato size, but all these will need is a little bit of a wash and a boil with some mint underneath and a little knob of butter on top, and they will be perfect. So for the first potato plant, I'm really quite pleased with that. I have great hopes for the Sarpomera, but if I do find any massive ones, then I will let you know. But let's move on and look at the peas. Now these are the sugar snap peas. This is the second lot that I sowed. The first lot just didn't seem to want to take for some reason. I don't quite know why. Now when your peas grow, you'll get lots of little flowers, and then from the flower comes is underneath this little section here, and when the flower falls off, then you'll get the sugar snap coming from it. Whether you grow Monchtu or normal peas or sugar snaps, they're all exactly the same. You just harvest them at different times. Now these being sugar snaps, you need to wait for them to get sort of a little bit on the fat side like that, and then they're ready. So to harvest them, all you need to do is to just hold one end, the pea with one end, and then the stem with the other, and just pull, and that's one. And I've got loads more, so I'm going to pick a load of these, and then when I've done that, then I'll show you. Well, there we are. That's some of the sugar snap peas. You can eat these raw, and in fact I think I'm going to eat one raw because they're so tasty. And so that's those. We'll have those for dinner. I also went and pulled up a lettuce as well. The lettuces, I've got a few up the end, and they're doing really, really well. They're different varieties, so that is, I'm very, very pleased with that. So that's great. So let me just eat this sugar snap pea, and then I've got something very special to show you in the greenhouse. This is one of the perks of having an allotment, is you pick and eat. Oh my God, that's gorgeous. You can't get any fresher than that, and in fact, because they're so nice, I'm gonna have one more. Shh, don't tell anybody. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Now let me give you just a little update on how everything's getting on in the greenhouse. This is the greenhouse on the allotment. As you can see that there are some of the bush tomatoes here, and in fact the tomatoes are just starting to turn, or some of them are anyway. I've got a little bit of a bindweed up here which I'll have to sort out, but that's doing really well. Over here I've got, not a dwarf French bean, a cantaloupe melon. And I've got a few more over behind me. We've got lots and lots of flowers on these. I'm leaving the door of this greenhouse open so that the bees can come in, and obviously it doesn't then get too hot in here as well. But if we look very carefully there, we have a tiny, tiny little melon starting to grow, and there's another one just there. So hopefully they'll start to do really, really well, and I'll get lots of melons. Here is the aubergine, still very small, but it's grown. It's grown. So it's getting there, but I can't see that we'll get anything out of that this year. but not to worry. And there's some more bush tomatoes around here. And over here, I've got my cucumbers. Now, these are the Spanish ones. Loads of flowers on these. I've got 5 plants here. And you can see just here, there's a little cucumber. There's another cucumber here. They're all over the place. Sometimes you'll find that they actually go brown like this. Don't worry, if they do, they'll just drop off because the plant clearly feels that they're not suitable. But I have a very big surprise for you. Down here, I have one. There it is. Let me just bring it up so you can see it a bit better. It must be about 5-6 inches long, possibly. Maybe not 6 inches long, maybe about 5 inches long. But this is doing really well. In fact, this is usually about the size that they have them in the shops in Spain. So I'm going to harvest this one. Now, the way to harvest them is you just have to nick them across the top. Use your secateurs, but I'm only using one hand, so this could be a bit difficult. Actually, I'll have to do it with a pair of secateurs because I don't think I can do it with one hand. It's not going to work, is it? Oh, hang on. There it is. There we are. My first cucumber. Now, because these are Spanish ones, I'll need to peel this because the skin on the outside does tend to be quite bitter. And is usually quite hard, but that is my first cucumber, and hopefully I'll have lots more to come. And again, around here we've got some more bush tomatoes. They're just starting to turn, but loads of flowers there. They need another good water because it's been very hot and very dry. And then here we have a load more melons. Lots more flowers on there, so hopefully they'll do really well. And down the bottom we've got some more tomatoes. These are the Shirleys and the Money Makers and a few other oddie soddy bits. But as you can see, they're all doing really quite well. Got lots of flowers starting to develop. Some have even got fruit on them. So that's the greenhouse doing really well. Now here we have a lot of beetroot. This is chioggia, which is sort of red and white striped when you cut it inside, lots of little rings. When I came up 6 days ago to the allotment, they were doing very well, but they just seem to have suddenly taken on a big sort of growth spurt. So some of them are actually ready to come up. So let me show you how to harvest these. Now, when you harvest your beetroot, they need to be about 2 inches wide. They're ready whatever size they are, but you can let these get quite large actually. The more space they've got, the more they'll grow. So let me just take that weed out, or part of it anyway. So just all you need to do is just go along the line and just check them. So just pull the leaves back gently, run your finger round the outside, and if like that one, I hope you can see that one, it's about 2 inches across, that in my opinion is ready to come up. So all you need to do is grab all the leaves right down the bottom, give it a gentle wiggle and give it a pull, and there is a really nice beetroot. That's my first one. As I say, you can let them get as big as you want. As long as they don't go to seed, then that's absolutely fine. So I'll just carry on going along the line. If you've got a couple that are quite close together, if you remove one of those, then it just gives the other one just a bit more space to grow. So I've got one here that is very, very close to the other one. So if I take that one out, and then it will give this one a bit more space to grow. So I'll just go along and I'll just harvest some, not all, just some. And then when I've harvested some, then I'll show you what I've got. Well, I've just harvested just 4 of them, but they're really good sizes. I'm really pleased with them. The bigger they are, the longer they need to cook. So what I do with with my beetroot is I'll chop the leaves off, chop the tiny little bit of stem off the bottom, and then I'll boil them until they're soft. Now if they're about this size, they'll most probably need to boil for about 20 minutes. Obviously the bigger it is, then the longer it will take. You can also roast them as well, but I've never tried that before. And then what I'll do is, once they've boiled and they're soft in the middle, I'll take the skin off the outside, and then I'll stick them in the freezer. And then when we want some, a couple of hours before, I'll just take them straight out the freezer and just let them defrost at room temperature. It doesn't alter the taste at all. And in fact they freeze incredibly well. I've been doing that for years and years. So that's what I'll do with them. You can also eat the leaves as well, so don't discard the leaves unless of course they've been nibbled to the bitter end. But I mean, the leaves like this, they're absolutely beautiful. When you get some bags of salad, they have small beetroot leaves in them, so you can chop these up and put them with salad, or you could even stir fry them. They won't take long to cook, but it's entirely up to you how far nibbled you mind cooking your leaves. Obviously only choose the best ones unless you're not really that fussed, but just give them a wash beforehand, just in case there's any little creepy crawlies on them. But I think that's most probably all I'm going to harvest today. What I'm going to do now is do a load of weeding and watering and just sort of sorting out. But if I do come across anything else that I think that you might find interesting, I'll let you know. I just thought I'd give you a quick update on how some of my squashes are getting on. There's some there. I've got some pumpkins to the left which are out of shot, and I've got some more on the right hand side. I just thought I would show you those. They're at different stages, and there's a couple of things that I think you might find interesting. Now most pumpkins and squashes grow exactly the same. They need lots of space to travel because they tend to sort of take over, so give them a nice amount of space. Now not all the flowers produce a fruit. Now let me explain that to you. Most of the flowers are roughly the same colour. They're usually all yellow, sort of different sort of shades of yellow. Now you'll get some flowers that come on a long stem. If they come on a long stem, they're not going to produce any fruit. Okay, but if you get a flower that's on a short stem here that you can see, hopefully you can see that, then you will always get a fruit that develops at the bottom of that. The flower was here, which was there, but once it's opened it will then die, and then the fruit will come behind it, and the flower will fall off. And there's a bee going in to pollinate one for me. Now sometimes you'll find that when the fruit grows it goes a little bit brown, so let me show you that. Now this is a butternut squash plant. I know that because, not because I've got the label, but because when the fruit starts to develop, it has that sort of the butternut squash shape to it. Now if we look at this one, this is a short stem, so therefore there's a fruit growing between the short stem and the flower. This one here you can see has gone brown and yellow and just doesn't look particularly healthy because this one is green. Don't worry about that. Sometimes this happens. All I would suggest you do is just take it off and remove it. Okay, there's no disease on the plant or anything like that. It's just that that one just hasn't developed properly, so if you didn't take it off it would just fall off anyway. But we don't want the plant to waste its energy into the duff one, so we might as well remove it. But you can see that there are, being a butternut squash, there are loads. There's 1, 2, that one might go a bit funny, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, oh god, there's loads on that one, There's loads of butternut squash on that one. And again, with your squashes, make sure that you water them regularly. You give them lots of water and feed as well, and then they will reward you really, really well. I use seaweed fertiliser. I swear by that. But I do have some squashes that are a little bit bigger, so let me show you those. Now, hiding underneath these leaves, we can see that there is, I think this is a pumpkin actually growing. It's a little white pumpkin because I did grow some whiter ones as well, so I have a feeling that that's what this is. But it's doing really well. It's now about the size of a big orange, but I've got lots more coming, so this is great. There are loads in the other bed. I've got an oblong shaped one, but I'll keep you posted on their progress. The pumpkins are starting to develop, the big ones, so it's all growing really well. Right, well, I think that's going to be it for today. I've done loads of weeding and loads of watering and feeding, but I think I need to go home now. Actually, this is the last time I'll be on the allotment for a couple of weeks, actually, because we're going on holiday. So I'm sure I'll put up some pictures of Spain and hopefully make you all very, very jealous. But my sister is very kindly looking after the allotment for me and the garden at home, which is fabulous. She knows what she's doing, so I know that it's all in very, very safe hands, which is great. So I hope you found what I've shown you useful today, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye bye.